Can you believe that 94% of you, nearly 94% of you, are not subscribed to this channel? Please make sure you subscribe right now. What is up, guys? This is David from Bronx Banter, and the Yankees are without a hitting coach once again. Yes, you heard me right. Once again, Sean Casey, that was our hitting coach from the All-Star break till the end of the 2023 season last year, officially called it quits and has departed with the Yankees. He made it official on his podcast announcing Wednesday on the mayor's office with Sean Casey, ending speculation about his future with the New York Yankees. If you don't know, a little bit prior to it being announced, the Yankees were very optimistic and excited about bringing Sean Casey back for then him to debunk that. And in fact, he also mentioned about how he had private conversations with Aaron Boone already about possibly not returning. And the real main reason is because of family reasons, not family issues. Doesn't seem like there's anything going on personal that's bad. He just mentioned how with his daughters being at the age of 13 and 17, it's become a priority for him to be there for them, especially after his divorce just a couple of years ago. But he did some great things, such as reviving DJ LeMahieu, hitting productivity back again. From the All-Star break to the end of the year, I think DJ was batting like 280 plus, great on-base percentage. He was looking like the DJ that this team desperately actually needs with our struggling offense. And quite honestly, even beyond his productivity, I just wanted to take the time to thank Sean Casey for his time with the Yankees. I really did love his personality that he brought to the clubhouse. I loved his energy, as so did Aaron Judge, Stanton, DJ, and I have no doubt many other guys in the clubhouse. You will definitely be missed. And I was really looking forward to it. And quite honestly, if you guys don't know, our very first episode on Bronx Banter was introducing Sean Casey as a hitting coach. So it's pretty interesting how it comes full circle at this point. But yes, Sean Casey, you will be missed. And now going a little bit deeper into analyzing Sean Casey's tenure, the eye test showed some promise, productivity through DJ and a few other players as well. But it looked like actually analytically, there was a decline in productivity. And I feel like some of us Yankee fans, we hear the word analytics, being analytical numbers, and we get a little triggered by that statement because of how wrongly the Yankees, it seems like, have been using the analytics, as mentioned by Aaron Judge and even Garrett Cole. But the analytics does show that, in fact, I believe across the board, the team batting average went down a couple of points. On-base percentage went down a couple of points. Now, this could be a lot of factors. It could be the players like Jake Bowers and some of those other journeymen like Billy McKinney kind of declining towards the end of the season. It could just be, I don't want to give this a huge excuse, but it could be the team believing that they're kind of out of it, so they're not trying as hard. It could be a bunch of different reasons. But overall, there's actually a lot of numbers that backs up that Sean Casey's tenure, numbers analytically, do not look good for him. But I really did like the eye test, and all of defense to Sean Casey. I don't want to sound like I'm a fanboy of Sean Casey, even though I am a fan of his. He also didn't have a lot of time to really root himself in his beliefs as a hitting coach and a hitting instructor and all those things into the clubhouse. He only had a half a season, and not only did he have a half a season, but he had to come in midway through a season where there was a team that was already founded in a certain hitting approach, which was hit the ball hard, in the air, pull side, get on base. It's okay to strike out. It seems like that's part of the analytical process for the Yankees. And that's honestly very contrary to what Sean Casey was trying to push. Sean Casey was trying to push go with the ball, hit opposite field, work the count, which is, I personally think, is a great approach. It really makes the pitcher work. It helps you get more pitches to see, which in that case, next plate appearance, you get a little more comfortable. You wear out the pitcher a little more. Starting pitcher, even if they're in a groove, if you're able to work a count, they'll be out of the game sooner than later. So I personally liked the more old school approach of Sean Casey. Now, obviously, the numbers don't show that. But again, I think there should be a little bit of a grace period for the adjustment it would take for a whole organization to change their hitting philosophy. And reading a little bit more into Sean Casey's tenure, there was an actual disconnect with what Sean Casey was trying to push versus what was already rooted from Dylan Lawson's hitting approach from the minors all the way up to the majors. According to The Athletic, there was indeed some disconnect between Casey's approach and the approach rooted by Lawson, and caused some conflict from coaching, most notably the young players and prospects we had, such as Jason Dominguez, Oswald Peraza, Volpe, Pereira, and Cabrera. Now, I find that very interesting because Jason Dominguez did not struggle at all, especially in the second half. He didn't struggle. And when he made it to the majors, he did great. Oswald Peraza ended up finding himself again. I could be mistaken, but I thought it was Sean Casey that motivated him to go back to what made him feel comfortable as a hitter, because they tried changing his toe tap or his leg kick and it wasn't working for him. So Oswald Peraza was figuring it out towards the end of his tenure. Anthony Volpe did regress a little more towards the second half of the season. So I could see that, but I don't know if that's completely at the fault of Sean Casey versus the Dylan Lawson hitting approach. And then Everson Pereira absolutely was struggling. So maybe there's something there, especially coming up to the majors. And then Oswald Cabrera found it towards the end of the season. And I know there was some news rooted into Cabrera going back to his old way of hitting. Now, with all this being said, at the end of the day, Sean Casey is out. Who's going to replace him? Now, I'm not in the weeds with all the available hitting coaches or just coaches in general. I can't start naming you guys. Of course, there's been names floating around like Alex Rodriguez, like Don Mattingly, even though he is, I believe, with the Blue Jays, and I still believe he's under contract with the Blue Jays. I've heard even names of Mark Teixeira, but I don't even know if he's interested. Of course, a lot of people were interested in Paul O'Neill because you hear him in the booth talking about hitting. But I honestly am not too confident in any of those guys being a possible or realistic solution for the Yankees. And it's more important to not think of the specific name, but rather to think of the profile of hitting coach that the Yankees need. What does our hitting coach need to do? What philosophies does he have to bring, or what philosophies does he have to break down in the Yankees organization? I personally believe, again, going back to a little bit of what Aaron Judge has mentioned, it's important to use analytics, but using the right numbers and then allowing that to translate into the right approach. Now, this isn't a Dylan Lawson video, but if we were to break down a little bit of Dylan Lawson's beliefs and approach, he wanted to hit the ball hard to the pull side. Now, what does that convert into? A lot of home runs. What is very known in playoffs is that the teams that hit the most home runs typically win the games. But that doesn't always mean that every single player, no matter their hitting style or hitting profile, has to have the same exact approach. That then makes it very easy for pitchers to pitch around anyone and everyone because they're copy and pastes. Now, obviously, there's a skill gap between, for example, Volpe and Judge. But at the end of the day, the approach of a 6'7", almost 300-pound pure muscle athlete such as Aaron Judge does not need the same approach as Anthony Volpe that is almost half his size. No offense, Anthony Volpe, but Judge is just a beast. But they by no means at any point at all should have the same exact hitting approach at all. So that's a perfect example of where the analytics that they have access to is good, but they're not translating that to productive, intangible results and game plans. So we need a guy that could come in, look at these numbers, be able to filter out, we don't need this. This is important. We don't need this. This analytic is important for this player. This number is important for this player. This is actionable for this player, but not for this player. We can't just have a one-size-fits-all approach at the plate. And we really need a hitting coach that's going to come in, be very proactive and adamant about this, and really make something that's catered specifically to each and every batter. Just as the pitcher every 5 days has to create a game plan with the catcher on a approach for each and every individual batter, so should the hitters or the hitting coach should create a game plan for every style of hitter we have in our lineup and in our organization. So I don't have names. I'm not sure if you guys in the comments have any names of hitting coaches that I believe can execute this game plan or that will be good for the Yankees. But leave it down in the comments below. What do you think about this whole thing with Sean Casey possibly coming back, then not coming back, us going in and out of hitting coaches all the time? How much is there to blame on the hitting coach for the Yankees' offensive failures? Who is the next hitting coach that the Yankees need and must have? Let me know everything and anything you want to talk about in the comments below. Hey, what is up, guys? If you liked this episode, please make sure to like it, comment down below, and subscribe and watch what YouTube suggests would be a great video for you. You're not going to want to miss all the latest Yankees news and topics going on. Listen, Judge wants you to subscribe. The Martian wants you to subscribe. So make sure you do. And until next time, peace and be blessed.